Alright, shed update time. It has been a day or so, I don't know. But these fenders, hood, grill panel, all prepped and ready for the final coat of primer. You just need a wipe down and a spray. So everything's all sanded out, all the touch-ups are done. That's a treat. So yeah, I'm currently waiting on materials because I don't have quite enough primer, by which I mean I'm out of primer for the final coat. I have some sealer, which is technically the proper product for this. However, this is all finished out to 180, more or less. I went over it with 320 grit, but I'm not certain that the sketchy old sealer I've got is going to cover 180 grit scratches. So I'm just gonna use the newer stuff that I'm getting anyway from a friend of mine. So unfortunately the school is locked right now and it is in the school, so we are at a slight standstill there. But no matter, I've got plenty of other things to do. One of which being transmission. Yay! So this is the Borg-Warner T96 with overdrive transmission. Lots of fun. Probably really didn't need to be taken apart. Nothing really leaked too aggressively on it from what I could tell. And it looks to be in very, very nice shape inside, which is a treat. However, when in Rome. So we have taken this apart. But this is as far as I'm going to take this apart because this is all really, really nice. Which is quite the treat. Bearings are all good, so it seems. All the gears are in immaculate condition. Not seeing any pitting on any of them. Pitting happens when the hardening kind of starts to wear through and flakes off. Gears are what they call case hardened. So what they do is they have a raw, like unhardened gear, and then they heat it up and cool it off, and it hardens it, but it doesn't harden it all the way through. So it's like surface hardening. So the outside surface of the gear is hard, but the inside is not. So anyways, I digress. What happens when they get old is the hardening starts to chip off, and it looks like pitting. None of that present, which is very nice. The biggest defect I'm seeing is right there. So this is a non-synchronized first and reverse. See, synchronized? Yay! Not synchronized. The whole gear moves. So, as one could imagine, when that gear hits the other gear, let's see, yeah, hear that clunk? When it's spinning at a vastly different RPM, it's going to go, and so these are generally fairly chewed up, and honestly, this one is very nice. This is far nicer than most of them I've seen. And having one tooth with a little chip in it like that is to be expected and is not a problem at all. So if that's the biggest problem with this transmission, I am positively thrilled. But regardless, it's worth having it apart so I can at least see what we're working with, make sure there's no hidden gremlins before I put it all back together and find out it's toast. So this is just kind of added insurance. But yeah. I got a new gasket kit for it, so it's going to get all new gaskets, new seals for the shifter forks, and a good cleaning. So there's some kind of, let's see here. If Marv is watching, Marv will probably comment about this little channel here. But anyways, if you look down in there, sparklies! Again, it's a transmission that's kind of to be expected. I mean, where do you think that goes? It's in there. It's a sealed unit. It's in there somewhere. So that's all got to get cleaned out, and then all the bits of brass from the synchronizer rings find their way down in there. So I'm gonna go to the gas station and buy a gallon of diesel fuel and a crappy little paintbrush, and we're going to go to town and get all this kind of cleaned up so that there's not metal chunks in there. And that'll be the extent of the servicing. I mean, I have no reason to believe that this has ever been apart. It could have been, but it doesn't seem to be. So this has been enough service for probably 50 years, 60 years, something like that. And, yeah. So we're just going to set back the clock, that's all. So that is what's going on. But, yeah. So I guess I'll get back to it, and I'll let you guys know if anything new develops.